through 75 counties and hundreds of investigations, from the most violent crimes to petty infractions. This is Arkansas Crime Watch with Kevin Kelly.
The daily protests following the death of George Floyd, both across the nation and here in Arkansas, may be slowing down, but the movement is growing, and the message behind it is getting louder and more clear. Good evening, and thanks for watching Arkansas Crime Watch on Fox16.com. I'm Kevin Kelly. Following Floyd's death on May 25th, politicians, state officials, and city leaders are now seriously considering major changes in how law enforcement agencies operate and are funded. Policies are being revised, budgets slashed or eliminated, and in some cases, entire departments are being dismantled. Here in Arkansas, the governor established a new law enforcement task force that will spend the next several months reviewing standards for police training, community policing, and what to do when and if an officer violates any policy.
This is something that we have seen in recent days as certainly needed, both in terms of a substantive review, but also in terms of a relationship with the community and to improve that communication.
The governor says the task force has no agenda to defund or dismantle law enforcement agencies in the state, but there can be discussions on how funding is used. The governor said the task force will turn over its report at the end of the year. Meanwhile, there are new details tonight in the city of Little Rock about another group being formed. Little Rock Mayor Frank Scott Jr. said the group will focus on the Little Rock Police Department. Earlier this week, the mayor named 9 people he appointed to an independent review committee. The mayor called for that committee last month following a growing list of lawsuits against the police chief. Our Susan L. Corey explains why this group could now be one of several being asked to review the department.
Standing at this podium, Mayor Frank Scott Jr. used the recent protests,
what I would call our nation's justice movement,
to reiterate his call for an independent review into the Little Rock Police Department.
It will look into and review policies, procedures, and practices.
That plan isn't new. 3 weeks ago, the mayor recorded this video.
I'm calling for an independent, third-party, comprehensive review.
He said the review was in response to a growing list of lawsuits against Police Chief Keith Humphrey.
The Little Rock Police Department is a very litigious department, and so this type of review helps us to figure out how we can subside the number of lawsuits.
In just over a month, 4 lawsuits were brought by 9 current officers and a civilian employee.
Harassment, discrimination, abuse of authority, the handling of confidential information, Freedom of Information Act issues and things of that nature. All of that will be a part of this scope, this comprehensive review.
Each investigation will start with a firm paid for by the city. That firm will then recommend changes to a 9-member committee who were handpicked by the mayor.
7 lawyers, a retired police officer, and a sociology professor.
While the mayor laid out that plan, he shared the stage with the chief.
Truly believe that it's important for the police department to be transparent.
Humphrey didn't weigh in on the committee. Instead, he talked about how he's creating his own team of citizens.
Constructive, creative conversation team. We're going to have open and critical discussion regarding things that are occurring in our city.
He didn't clearly detail the plan for that team, promising it's a work in progress. But this stage put a spotlight on both the chief and mayor's ideas to move the city forward.
To help ensure that we continue to get better and to improve.
In Little Rock, I'm Susan L. Corey.
As far as the 2 new groups go, members of the City Board of Directors tell us they haven't been included in those decisions and are waiting to speak with the mayor before they comment. Little Rock police officers will soon be equipped with body cameras after the City Board of Directors approved the costly purchase earlier this week. The agenda indicated the cost for the body cameras to be around $700,000, but the city attorney claimed that number was not accurate. The Board of Directors decided to vote earlier than expected for a number of reasons. First, the winning proposal was about to expire. Second, the vendor added an additional 25 body cameras for free. And third, and probably the most important, according to City Board Director Dean Compuris, the recent trauma our city and nation have been experiencing.
Even though we do not know our financial situation and that we're committing a very large amount of money to the purchase of these cameras, it is the right thing to do given the situation we're in now.
The city did receive a nearly $200,000 federal grant to help pay for the body cameras, and the city will not have to start paying its share of the debt for the next 11 months. Caught on camera, North Little Rock police officers with guns drawn, and tonight we know the name of the person shot. Take a close look. This was the scene on June 6th. When police received a disturbance call at their substation in Rose City. The man in question identified as 47-year-old Danny Huey. No word yet as to what caused officers to fire their weapon, but this is the second officer-involved shooting in this area in less than 2 weeks.
Never in the history that we can recall has there ever been an officer-involved shooting having 2 incidents within about 9 days of each other, much less at almost the same location. We understand that that is deeply concerning, not only to our community, but definitely for us as officers.
The shooting is still under investigation and the officers are on paid administrative leave. The suspect is in the hospital in critical but stable condition. The Perry County Sheriff's Office needs help identifying a suspect who broke into the Journey Church in Perryville on June 1st. Deputies say the man you see here pulled up in a late model black Chevrolet SUV and then busted out the front door. He then crawled inside through the broken glass. If you have any information on who this man is, you're asked to contact the Perry County Sheriff's Department. In tonight's crime report, Garland County Sheriff's deputies make an arrest following a fatal shooting on June 8th. Deputies charged this man, 44-year-old Calvin Davis, with first-degree murder. They believe he shot and killed 61-year-old Larry Johnson inside his home on Westinghouse Drive. No motive provided just yet, but Davis remains in the Garland County Jail. His bail set at $1 million. Little Rock police make an arrest following a deadly shooting outside a funeral home during a wake service. Cameron Carpenter sits behind bars following the deadly shooting on May 5th in downtown Little Rock. As you can see, he's facing a number of charges, including capital murder. Carpenter is accused of killing Aaron Daniels, who was attending the wake. State police were able to stop Carpenter, who was trying to get away in a car following that shooting. Little Rock police are still looking for whoever shot 2 people on North Shackelford last Friday night. When police arrived on scene, they found 18-year-old Tyler Terrell dead in a car. Another passenger, identified as 19-year-old Zatron Waits, had also been shot. He's expected to survive, but so far, no arrests have been made. In tonight's Crime Tracker report, a Springdale woman is behind bars charged with negligent homicide and 2 counts of third-degree battery. According to a police report, 49-year-old Sheila Kirkpatrick drove her car through a fence and into the backyard of a house on June 4th. 1 woman was killed, another injured, along with a 3-year-old. Kirkpatrick told police she doesn't remember what happened. The accident is still under investigation. Hot Springs police need your help tracking down 3 suspects, all wanted in connection to a terroristic act that took place back in April. Take a good look at these photos. Police say James Canaday, Quinlan Staggers, and Joe Lewis were all involved in at least 2 drive-by shootings that took place on April 22nd. The first one happened at a home on Pinewood at around noon. 4 hours later, another drive-by shooting, this time on North Patterson. All 3 men are considered armed and dangerous. Call police if you know where they are. Earlier this week marked the 25th anniversary since Morgan Nick went missing from Alma, a day that shook Arkansans to the core. The National Center for Missing and Exploited Children released an age progression photo of what Morgan might look like at the age of 31. In 1995, she went missing from the Alma Little League ball field after she went to the parking lot to catch fireflies with 2 other children. When she didn't come back, The children said they saw her speaking to a bearded man next to a red pickup truck. That man was never identified.
It was never a thought in my head that Morgan would still be missing for 25 years, that 25 years later, we would still be sitting here.
A 5-part documentary series is set to be released about the case, containing previously unshared information in hopes of getting new leads. Anyone who may have information about Morgan Nick's disappearance is asked to call the Alma Police Department. Turning now to tonight's Mug of the Week. It goes to this woman, Tiffany Nicole Peterson. The 32-year-old booked into the Garland County Jail on June 5th and faces a long list of drug charges, including possession, paraphernalia, maintaining a drug premise, and endangering the welfare of a minor. Her bond set at $39,000. As we leave you, here's a look at Arkansas's most wanted. We want to remind you all of the suspects you've seen tonight are innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Remember, if you have any information on any of these cases we talked about tonight, you're asked to call your local police department. Thanks for watching Arkansas Crime Watch. I'm Kevin Kelly. Be smart, be safe, and if you see something, say something. I'll see you tomorrow night on Fox 16 News at 5:30 and 9.